Hey, this is Janelle, the relationship coach behind the Successful Invisible, and welcome to this episode of Response and React. Let's talk about this because when Gilbert Arenas proudly sat in an interview and said, I lie to my wife 10 to 12 times a day, that's my job, and her job is to catch me, it wasn't just an embarrassing confession, it was a masterclass in how low the bar for male accountability has fallen. This man got married less than a year ago, proposed under the Eiffel Tower, and is already telling the world he has no intention of honoring his vows. And ladies, this right here is why so many women are choosing peace over partnership. Because it's not that women don't want love, it's that they're tired of being emotionally exhausted, publicly humiliated, and told to just deal with it. Today, we're breaking down what Gilbert's words say about modern masculinity, what women can learn from it, and why discernment, not just desire, has to lead your dating life.
So basketball star Gilbert Arenas says that he lies to his wife 8 to 10 times a day and basically wants y'all to know that if you get with an athlete, he lying to you, and that's just the way it is, and that's the way of our life, and either you can get into it or you could kick rocks. Take a listen.
When the NBA season starts, that's where all the bad habits are. So when the season starts, now I'm flying to Miami. Now I'm flying to Atlanta. Now I'm flying to Los Angeles, New York, right? Houston.
Yeah.
Coming in 2, 3 in the morning. Where am I going? Strip club. Right? Club. So we are partying and drinking damn near every city we go.
What?
Different girls every city we go. So we're partying during the season on our work schedule. In the summer, we ain't doing none of that.
Yeah.
Because our girlfriends and our families. I lie to my wife every day.
What the fuck?
10, 12 lies a day. That's my job, to lie. Her job is to try to catch the lie.
So you've been through the whole phase,
Yeah.
and you lived it, and now you're settled down. I'm not gonna lie, respect.
No, see, you say settle down like I'm happy. that's wild. Don't put that on me.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what this is very triggering for me, and I'm going to tell you why. This is what it was like for me being a boy in the barbershop, right? Like, these were the types of conversations I had to sit through as a kid, as a teenager, just like listening to black men speak about infidelity being cool like this growing up. And it always affected me from a moral place because, for whatever it's worth, I always spent more time with the girls. So because I always spent more time with the women and with the girls, I kind of took on their perspective on things more so than with the guys. And early on in life, behavior like this is what I was shown what it means to be a black man. And when I've gotten on TV shows and said things like, on this show, when I've gotten on shows and said things like, I've never been in a barbershop and seen a man talk about cheating on his wife and another black man correct him or check him on it. This is the type of behavior that I'm talking about. Like, a lot of people don't want to talk about it, and it's not every black man, and it's not all black men. I'm not even just gonna put it on black men. I'll just put it on men, period. It's not every man or whatever, but this type of behavior, ladies, and this type of talk is wildly accepted amongst men. You know what I'm saying? And then what happens is, if you're the straight-laced black boy that doesn't want to participate in this type of toxic masculinity, you're instantly labeled gay. Now, in my case, I was gay. All right? That's a whole nother conversation. But then, as young men, we are taught that if you don't act like that, and if you don't undergird and fortify that behavior, you're not a man. You're not cool, and you're gay. And I don't know. I mean, I don't like it. I don't like it and then I'm going to tell you, somebody wrote in the comments, he said the quiet part out loud. It's one thing for you to do what it is you do, and it is another for you to just embarrass your wife down to the ground.
I lie to my wife every day.
What the fuck?
10, 12 lies a day. That's my job, to lie. Her job is to try to catch the lie. coming in 2, 3 in the morning. Where am I going? Strip club. Right? Club. So we are partying and drinking damn near every city we go.
What?
Different girls every city we go. In the summer, we ain't doing none of that.
Yeah.
Because our girlfriends and our family.
So you've been through the whole phase,
Yeah.
and you lived it, and now you're settled down. I'm not gonna lie, respect.
No, see, you said settle down like I'm happy. that's wild, man. Don't put that on me.
So former NBA player Agent Zero, Gilbert Arenas.
Oh my Lord. Dude.
Very outspoken. He sat down with the streamer Neon, and they were just talking about like NBA and NBA culture and what happens in NBA, like with these NBA players when the season starts.
Gilbert.
And women
Oh,
and
my-
cheating.
Hey, man, can I just ask you this, man?
Yes.
Did Gilbert say a lot?
100%. And I think he threw a lot of the
Hey,
NBA
dude.
players under the bus too,
No,
bro.
you know they call him No Chill Gil.
No chill, Gil.
Let's go.
dog.
When the NBA season starts, that's where all the bad habits are. So when the season starts, now I'm flying to Miami.
Yeah.
Now I'm flying to Atlanta. Now I'm flying to Los Angeles, New York, right? Houston.
Yeah.
Coming in 2, 3 in the morning. Where am I going? Strip club. Right? Club. We are partying and drinking damn near every city we go.
What?
Different girls every city we go. So we're partying during the season on our work schedule. In the summer, we ain't doing none of that because our girlfriends and our families here. I lie to my wife every day.
What
10,
the
10, 12 lies a day. That's my job, to lie. Her job is to try to catch the lie.
So you've been through the phase,
Yeah.
and you lived it, and now you're settled down. I'm not gonna lie, respect.
No, see, you said settle down like I'm happy. that's wild, man. Don't put that on.
Hey, man,
What?
I can't imagine what else Gilbert said, bro.
Yes, dog. So NBA players, when the season starts, according to him, when they go from city to city, they get there late. If they get there late, they all go to strip clubs.
Right.
Oh,
They party
no.
throughout the whole season, and then during summer, they go back to their
My
families.
man said I lie every day to
That
my
is
wife, and her job is
wild.
to catch me.
The audacity to say that.
Right.
Like, this is why I don't want to have a man.
But that's no chill Gil.
Yeah.
No chill Gil, man.
That is crazy.
I've had some crazy conversations with Gil.
Oh, yeah?
Gil, you need to come do the neighborhood. Go ahead now.
But yeah, you see this all the time. The funny thing, I don't know if you guys know, but James Harden is like known to go to strip clubs a lot. Right?
Already though.
Yeah, and there's like stats and like stats that they've like put
Take your
together.
time. You all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
6,
stats.
7?
6, 7? Yeah, you see.
There's stats that says like whatever city he goes to, and if there's a dope strip club, like he really performs well.
Really though?
Oh,
Oh, damn. Like, man, he must have been at Magic City last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every time we would play in like Canada, Toronto, or anything like that, balls out.
Really
bro.
though?
Oh,
I used
yeah.
to think that I wouldn't care if when I do have a man, he goes to a strip club. But I feel like after, having some conversations
And
here,
working with us?
yeah, I'm like, definitely don't
Yeah.
want my man going to
Yeah.
Jesus is the worst.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you view men in your goggles like for Jesus, then yeah.
Yeah, it is crazy,
Yeah.
man.
No way, bro.
Jesus is the worst. See, I threw him under the bus.
Yeah, yeah.
Learned that from Gilbert Arenas.
You should always be afraid of niggas who do not fear God. You should always fear niggas who do not fear God. I'm going to say that until I'm blue in the face. Okay? So, I don't really listen to a lot of the things that Gilbert Arenas says because I think he's a silly ass nigga. But what recently made the headlines is him talking about him and the amount of lies that he tells his wife, and basically saying that it's up to her to be able to decipher through the lies and to be able to call him out on which she believes is a lie. It will never be lost upon me that a large majority of men only choose marriage based on how it will benefit them. Let's debrief. Let's break this down. It will never be lost upon me that you have a large percentage of men who choose marriage simply because of how it will benefit them. Okay? Set aside the fact that it is a covenant between the man, his partner, and God. And you niggas walk around not fearing God every single day. And that shit is scary. That is scary. But I say all that to say, and this is for all the women or people who like to say, ooh, if you had that ring, or you should have got married first. I've told y'all before, pay attention to the most obvious pattern when it comes to dating these sociopathic bandits. And that is how they treated the woman that came before you. Everybody knows that he dated Laura Govan. Everybody knows that. And from what I can remember, and this is probably going to date me, but when Laura Govan was on the first few seasons of Basketball Wives, she could not even mention his name. And they were still together at the time. Without going into details, without going into the story and whatever else, he drug Laura Govan to the pits of hell by her baby hairs, back into purgatory, double back to earth because he felt like it, and back to hell again by what was left of her fucking baby hairs. A man who does not fear God, who will violate the covenant that he has between himself, God, and his partner, is someone that you should be afraid of. Because if that man does not care about the covenant that he made before the big G, that young man is willing to take you through every single emotion that your little heart, or every single emotion that your heart will probably not be able to withstand. Another example of that, which this man was not married, but I don't understand men who do not take relationships serious and just use women as placeholders, right? And I'm trying to cook, but I'm trying to break this down as I'm talking to you. So give me a moment. But Young Thug, we all saw how he publicly humiliated Mariah the Scientist several times, right? While he was in jail, when he should have been trying to get his life together. Like, he literally has been playing on her top. And finally, the embarrassment got to be too much, and she said, enough. That man, and I don't have the clip, but it's there, went on a podcast not long after that, announced to the world that they were no longer together. But he said, but I still got a girlfriend. I mean, you know, she may not have, a boyfriend or a partner, but, I still got a girlfriend. Basically, like, he keeps them in rotation like the little Pez candies that come out of the dispenser. Now, you tell me, what is the point? What is the point? What is the point? Why would you? Why he could listen. That man can go out and sleep with whoever he wants to, right? Gilbert Arenas, Young Thug, they can go out and they can sleep with whoever they want to, being a single man. But they would still rather be in a relationship or have some type of partnership with a woman because of the benefits that come with it. Do you see what I'm saying? So I know there was a lot that I was trying to say in this message, but what I'm going to say is, number one, fear every man that does not fear God. Okay? If he is willing to break that covenant and just act like it's a fucking Monday and this is just what we do, fear that man. Number two, stay away from men who look at relationships as something that is just there to benefit them. That is not someone who is looking to be a partner to you. That is not someone who is looking to help you. That is not someone who is looking to grow with someone. That is someone that is looking to step on your neck just to get them a little bit closer to kiss the next bitch. And number three, which is just as important as the first two, things that I've given you. Women, be selfish. Be selfish. Model your behavior in the ways that a man models his. And I don't mean, match his energy, but hey, I'm here for an eye for an eye. I'm here for that. But what I'm saying is, women, be selfish. Be just as selfish as a man is with himself. Because a man is not going to do anything that he doesn't want to do. A man is not going to do anything that puts him in a compromising situation. A man is never going to care about your feelings before he decides to do something that's willing to change the entire outcome of your day. He is always going to put himself first. He is never going to consider anybody else but him and how he feels. Be selfish. You hear me? Until you have a man who fears losing you and losing access to you, be selfish. A man who chooses a woman and who finds a woman, we naturally are going to add to that man's life. You be selfish until that man shows you that he is worth it. Got it? Because you got a lot of niggas that is willing to give you a shut up ring and a marriage license and have you figuring out whether or not he lying to you when he say that he's out of town on business, but he really is down the street between cheeks. Got it? These niggas are silly. Speed it up.
This is why I tell people that being a wag is not all it's cracked up to be, because you may have the lifestyle, you may have the riches, but then you have a man that publicly embarrass you like this. Gilbert Arenas went and did an interview saying that he lies to his wife 10 to 12 times a day and that he's supposed to do that and that is her job to catch the lies. Mind you, they just got married January of 2025. It hasn't even been a full 365 days yet. And this is why I be looking at some men crazy sometimes, because why put so much effort in a woman just for you to publicly not care about her and embarrass her? Like the fact that he proposed to her in front of the Eiffel Tower last year, they got married this year. What was the point of doing all that if he wasn't going to respect her? Which, mind you, this man may be a 3-time NBA All-Star, but that doesn't mean that he's a high-value man. This man also got arrested for being involved in illegal poker this year. He has 4 kids with Laura Goldvan. Fun fact, this is Laura from Basketball Wives' baby daddy, and he did her horrifically. He had several affairs on Laura and lied to her nonstop, and this is why they say that liars and cheaters never change, despite them saying that they can, because here he is years later and literally bragging about lying to his wife, of all people. And people are like that his wife is just getting into the bag, like she's good, she's gonna stay. And my thing is, when are people going to realize that the bag is not enough? Like, your peace and your mental health should mean more than money. But if she like it, I love it. If I was her, I would take that interview and go straight to a divorce attorney, because what do you mean you lied to me over 10 times a day and I gotta pick and choose which one is a fabrication, which one's the truth? And you supposed to be my husband? Boy, bye.
Let's jump into my favorite part of all of the content I post on YouTube. And that's just my thoughts, where I get to kind of express what I feel about whatever we have read or gone over. So let's get into it. All right, let's jump into this. This is madness. This is mess. And the reality is, a lot of men think just like this. Gilbert Arenas just has the standing and the income level and the socioeconomic level to say it out loud. And this fits with his character of just being generally unlikable in a lot of ways. So this man with his whole chest said that he lies to his wife 10 to 12 times a day. It is her job to find the lie. All NBA players and professional athletes cheat on their spouses, etc. The reason that this is so important for women to pay attention to, this is when you need to pay attention to what the dude you're dealing with or, you're with is saying about commentary such as this. Because if they are trying to defend it, uplift it, make an excuse for it, etc., they agree with it. Because 9 times out of 10, I would bet money that the men that don't see Gilbert Arenas' behavior as problematic are the same exact men who are calling somebody like Russell Wilson a simp and saying disparaging things about him because he openly and out loud, from what we observe as the audience, I don't know these folks, loves and honors his wife and his family, including the child that she had before she came into union with him. And that to me is to be lauded and applauded. But today, men, sadly, black men, but all men glorify degeneracy. Who says that? Who openly says, I am going against this contract? Marriage is a contract and a covenant with my wife, and I just lie to her, and it's her responsibility. He's not taking accountability for his own actions and behavior. He's putting the responsibility on his wife, and that is causing all type of trauma and I'm sure manipulation, etc. So do not take it lightly when these conversations come up in social media, because they are such a great discussion point to understand where your partner's head is at, and if they the type of behavior that they align with and they are okay with and they defend, or the type of behavior that they're like, no, that's not cool, that doesn't align with my principles and morals. So what Gilbert Arenas said is what I personally believe all men feel like in some way, shape, or form. He just has the money to pull it off. Now, switching to professional athletes, do I think they all cheat? That's a hard thing to say. Do I think all of anybody does anything unless they're in a group associated with that thing? I.e., do all hate groups hate the people that they don't like? Yeah, they all do. That's why they're part of that group. But to say something like all professional athletes cheat, no. But what I believe is that it's likely a high percentage because it's in the environment that they're circulating in, it's widely accepted, it's encouraged, they have access to a lot of things. So I do believe there are probably a few that don't, but I think the behavior is so normalized. Even if they're not physically cheating, I believe there's a lot of them doing things that are very inappropriate in terms of if they're married, it's in violation of their marital contract, and they wouldn't want their wives to be doing it with a man, the same things they're doing with other women. So it's a very sad thing to see, but I have to admit it was very honest and bold of him to say that, because that thought process is how a lot of men think. When you hear stuff like this on social media, this is one reason I left TikTok. You do need to then take this as an opportunity, as I was saying, to have these discussions, sometimes hard discussions with your person or several people that you may be talking to see if they would be a good fit for you in terms of characters, like moral alignment, and just behaviors. Because if you're dealing with somebody and he thinks nothing that Gilbert Arenas said is wrong, or he really doesn't have too much to say about it, that means he's in agreement with it. A lot of men will not say something too much about something because they agree with it. Like a lot of conservative men saying that they're centrist on dating apps because they don't want to be, pinned as right-winged, and they can't attract a lot of women that way. So it is very important that you have the conversations when these pop up, and it's an easy way to do it because it might be trending. So yeah, what he said is gross and terrible, but if he was honest, and if you are dealing with a man who thinks or agrees with this way of thinking, dump him, block him, stop talking to him, because he is totally okay not honoring vows, commitments, and covenant. And that's not a good partner. That's a man of very low character and very low value. Let me know your thoughts below. And here's the thing. It's not just about Gilbert Arenas. It's about what happens when men start believing that lying, cheating, and disrespect are part of their job description. It's about how too many women end up normalizing emotional chaos because they've been told that's what it means to hold a man down. But sis, you don't have to build peace around dysfunction. If you're ready to stop confusing loyalty with self-abandonment and learn how to date from a place of self-worth, discernment, and divine femininity, join my exclusive coffee community for private coaching, journaling prompts, and mindset tools that help you reset your standards and your energy. And before you go, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, especially if you believe that love shouldn't cost your sanity. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's your biggest relationship red flag? Lying, ego, or emotional immaturity?